I'm not afraid. Ugh. Alright, all jokes aside, my name's ESG and I'm here to show you a historical Barbarossa build. So Operation Weserübung has been completed, no Operation Sea Lion, and we are in North Africa. We will be starting in the historical time frame of June 1941. Stick around and I'll show you the tank, plane, and division templates that I'll be using for this build. Let's get into it. All right, the first example that I have for you here is going to be an easier way to play Barbarossa. So we did take Denmark, we did not take Norway, and we have not gone to North Africa. North Africa can be quite tricky, particularly for beginners. So what you simply do is follow the first guide that I showed you, and you can see that up in the upper right-hand corner of the screen right now. I'll also link it in the description box below. But you go ahead and do Poland, France, the Low Countries, and you immediately start justifying war goals on the Baltic states here. And as you can see, you could get very close to Leningrad, and you can get all the way up to this point right here. This is with no Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact as well. So this allows you to pre-build infrastructure into these areas and attack the USSR a little earlier. As you can see, the Soviet army is still suffering from a lot of debuffs of the Purge. So this is quite good to do an early Barb. So do this if you like. You'd still follow the same method that I'm about to show you, but let's go ahead and show you the historical build. So as you can see here in the historical build, I have gone through, taken out Yugoslavia, Greece, Operation Weserübung has been completed, and we're down here in North Africa, and it didn't quite go so well. Let's not talk about it. But North Africa was done. You can see that the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was completed, and the Soviets do hold Eastern Poland, the Baltic states, as well as Bessarabia. So this is a more historical build. Now let's go ahead and show you the tank template. This template is obviously for AI games, so please don't comment about the tank template if you're talking about multiplayer. The features of this template are the soft attack, the high breakthrough. So the breakthrough is defense on the offense, so you will lose less tanks. The other thing that you'll see here is the average reliability is 82%. This is because most players don't know what attrition is, and basically attrition, you will lose tanks to basically low reliability. So that's why the reliability is kind of decent at 82%. We have a combat width of 30. So we have light armored recon here. We have engineer company. We have field hospitals. The field hospitals keep the division's experience high. Every level of experience on the division is a 25% combat bonus. So that's quite good. Next, we're going to show you that we have the medium flame tank company. The reason why it's medium, you get the extra 10% attack bonus in all these areas listed. You have anti-air so that the tanks can move around faster and not receive combat debuffs to not having air superiority. Now, you shouldn't have much problems with air superiority if you did the air build properly, but you have that on there just in case. Here's the infantry division template. The infantry division template, by and large, doesn't matter. We're going to be microing tanks. Okay, moving on to the tank build here. You have a fairly cheap tank at 13 IC production. The tank features a soft attack that is high, decent armor. You're probably not going to be pierced at an armor of 47 in an AI game. And the breakthrough is 78, defense of 9, with a good speed of 8 kilometers an hour. Obviously, you could change this up however you want to. The main thing is that you have the improved medium howitzer for the soft attack. As long as you have the level 2 howitzer in an AI game, you're going to be good. All right, we're going to be switching up our plane build for Barbarossa since the air areas are are really large, and we're going to go for more of a range-focused fighter. It probably would have helped out quite a bit had I used this fighter in North Africa. In terms of the Battle of France and Sea Lion, having 3 4X heavy machine guns at the top does wonders because you could go 20-1 over the AI air because they simply fly over you. Now we're going to switch to this build so that we can reach out a little better, and it's going to make Barbarossa a lot quicker for us. So I'm going to switch to this build. Also note that we're going Mech 2, which is quite good, and you can only kind of get there unless you go for the historical time frame. Otherwise, I would just mix in Mech 1 if we were going to go like more of a speed run like I showed you before. Just so that you guys can see what I'm producing, here's the production screen. These cruisers that I'm kicking out here are going to be used in Sea Lion later. That's for the next video. And if we look at our front line here, it's just von Manstein's army along the front line. Guderian has his own battle plan, but all the tanks are out of the battle plan because I'm going to micro them independently of the army. If we want to battle plan with von Manstein, we can later just to make things a little quicker. But right now, we're just going to be doing tank encirclements. We're going to try to destroy as many Soviet divisions as possible and move up while building infrastructure behind us. So speaking of infrastructure, we're not going to get bombed too much because we're just going to completely decimate the Soviet air. I have rails of 3. I didn't improve the infrastructure at all. We're only using supply hubs and rails, and I shouldn't need to build any supply hubs at all. In terms of land doctrine, I went mobile warfare, and we still need modern blitzkrieg, so I'm a little behind on my doctrine. Air doctrine, we went battlefield support, and that is going to mainly buff the ground attack, so your troops will benefit from having the CAS overhead much better with battlefield support. If you wanted more of a build for air superiority, you'd go operational integrity, and if you wanted to buff navs more, you'd go strategic destruction. So if you hover over this blue bar here, you could see that our planning is maxed out at 14%. We went mobile warfare doctrine. You could easily go grand battle plan doctrine. So you could go grand battle plan doctrine left if you want to receive the benefits from the planning bonus. This would be better, but this is more of a beginner guide. So if you're a beginner, I would recommend mobile warfare doctrine because you don't have to worry about checking your planning bonus. So grand battle plan doctrine, if you wanted to do that build, you go grand battle plan doctrine left. And if you get down here, you see that there's a max planning bonus of 10%. And up here, there's another max planning bonus of 10%. So that will affect all of your troops as long as you may have them not move. And then you wait until the blue bar is full here and you have max planning bonus. So you move forward, attack, wait for planning bonus, move forward, attack again. And that's how you would optimize your planning bonus with Grand Battle Plan Doctrine. Okay, national focus completed. War with the USSR. I always take the 2 cavalry divisions that were received from Operation Barbarossa, and I just have them over here near the D-Day wall. I also have tanks available for any landings that occur. And the Allies will be landing here in the Mediterranean, and eventually they'll do D-Day, so the tanks are important to constantly be ready for a landing. And it looks like I screwed up. There's still a non-aggression pact with the Soviets. We need 200% of their divisions along our common borders. Okay, so we're a little bit late on this Barbarossa. Sorry, guys, but we're going to cancel the non-aggression pact and declare war. Okay, so this starts the Finnish continuation war. What I like to do here is carefully move through on different fronts. So we're going to kind of make a seal here across this river line to make this a pocket. So those guys will dive through there. And then you just run a bunch of units that are parallel to different targets. So as you can see, we're going to avoid the cities here, and we'll just attack into the cities with our infantry. And I'm just hitting shift left click here in order to move the troops up. Hans Krebs recalled from the Soviet Union, Army XP 15, manpower 200. So we should be at full doctrine at this point. So there's modern blitzkrieg. As you can see, we're doing pretty well on air. We probably need some more air up here. I'll just get some more fighters up there. And you just want to scroll back and forth down the line. Your infantry are going to shuffle all along the front, so I do Control B so that they just do it quicker. There's not really a method to stop them from doing that, but you'll have infantry in the south go like way up to the north. So I'm constantly just clicking on the field marshal, hitting Control B so that they strategically redeploy. And then once you have little pockets like these that are created, I just eat the pockets with infantry. You could also double back the tanks to do it a lot quicker. Depends what type of area they're in. Another thing to note is I'm not allowing any of my puppets or allies to join the war. They're just going to hog supply in the front. You can already see that the tanks that are snaking are having supply difficulties. All right, and we've already entered Kiev. I'm pretty sure it's been less than a month. It looks like we need to get their supply to be reduced in this area. Speed is the key. Always keep your troops moving. So we can do the campaign instructions against the Soviet Union. I'm just going to pop that now. The tanks are going to start to get slowed by supply, and then we can't keep up with the air, things of that nature. So just to show you the importance of supply, we took this supply hub right here at Chernovsky. So they're actually, the town gave supply to this area. There's no supply hub in this area, but basically now all of these troops are attritioning and out of supply. So you have 21 divisions encircled there. It looks like 19 right here. Another like 30 or some odd here. So you could go fairly quickly. And we're having supply difficulty because the rail gauges haven't been altered yet, so I'm going to kind of halt here. The thing about going up the Baltic coast is, as long as you can capture a naval base, you're going to get supply. So you could dive a bit more up towards Leningrad, but over here, it's going to be a little trickier. So you can see that this guy got encircled, but we're going to easily get him out of there. So you have to keep on watching. So here's an example. These two tanks are up in Talanin, and they're having no supply problems whatsoever. All right, it looks like the allies have landed, so I'll simply take my tank divs, send them down here, and we'll absolutely just crush them. So here's an example of where not to attack. You do not want to attack with the tanks into mountains because they will suffer attrition. And we finally have some rails that we can upgrade. I'm just going to do it the lazy way and upgrade them to max. So you hit the little supply map mode button here, shift left click, and it will upgrade all the rails up to this supply hub. So you just rinse and repeat that as you go forward. Okay, do note that there's a land warfare facility right next to Mogilev here in Minsk area. There's also a dam up here next to Leningrad. Our manpower is running a little low, so I'm going to go to service by requirement. You will note if you begin to battle plan that your manpower is going to run out. You want to continuously look at your logistics and supply here and make sure that you have enough supply. It looks like we have an abundance of infantry equipment, and then we'll also have an abundance of manpower. So I think at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and attack. The other thing that I could do here is upgrade the infantry equipment. Could upgrade it to level 2. Since we're so far ahead on infantry equipment, that's going to make us a little light on steel, but we could just trade for that. And then we could go ahead and battle plan and hopefully make this a little bit quicker. The other thing to mention is that we are completing a collaboration government against the Soviet Union, and that will lower their surrender limit, meaning that you'll have to get less victory points in order to beat the Soviet Union. So all these little towns are victory points, and once you have enough, they should capitulate. So here's an example of how I'm moving up along the rail line with the tank to just simply take a supply area, and then I'm going to move the infantry up parallel with the tank in order to secure their flanks. So that's kind of the main method of moving forward through Barbarossa. We still have this nasty pocket down here to contend with, but we'll get rid of it. So the reason why this pocket's not decreasing is because I don't have air over here. So we'll just simply put some air over it and it should go down fast. Okay, so we got into Leningrad. Let's take the airport and let's take the dam. So it's taking me a long time to build the infrastructure. It would be optimal just to do an infrastructure of 3. So in this case, you could see that we're out of supply with these 2 tanks. You could simply just move them to where there is supply. These other tanks are also stacked up with it, so that could be a reason why they're out of supply. Okay, so we've made it to Rostov. This could be a little tricky as well as Sevastopol area, because if you don't watch this, your battle plan will move past. Luckily, the battle plan split off here, so I do have some troops. But typically, the battle plan erases. You'll move past, and then the Russians will pop out behind you. You constantly have to be worried about the Sevastopol area. So what I'm going to do down here is just try to take all the rails down to this port. And we're going to attempt to do it kind of like double wide and try to cross to Kerch. Okay, so we just captured Moscow. So as you can see, there's not a lot of troops in the south here. So what I'm going to do is simply rush to the oil at Baku. I'm going to use the infantry in the mountains, and then the plains and hills, I'm going to use the tanks, but it's a massive snake, so make sure to pay attention. Okay, so we just capitulated the Soviet Union because of our collaboration government. Didn't even have to get out to the Urals. So I'm just going to go the ego way and basically take all of everything. But what you can do is if you click the puppet tab right here, you can go and simply take the eastern half of the Soviet Union. You could also do this to Tanatuva in Mongolia and create a puppet in the eastern half of the Soviet Union. What you'll be able to do there is you'll be able to get manpower from them for occupation. And I'll show you where that is after I complete this, but you'll be able to get like 1 million manpower for occupation. And so that's quite good if you're going for a world conquest. But what we're gonna do is just take everything and we'll see where we're at. We'll also take their navy. Their navy's not that good, but we do need to sea lion next. So we'll just submit the demands. What I was talking about was if you have a puppet, it looks like we don't have any puppets, but if you have like Legionary Romania is in the Axis, what you could do is request garrison support here. And they're more likely to do it if they are your puppet. And that's how you would get the garrison support. So we're at 1 million manpower here, and that's going to trickle down quite a bit because we have all this territory to occupy right now. But we went ahead and took everything. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. The next video, we're going to be doing Operation Sea Lion. So make sure to tune in for that. I'll see you guys on the next one.